This book really came out of about 60 or some odd years of collective teaching experience, where we first started off thinking about, what are we teaching in mathematics if most people are going to forget all the formulas? And we started to extract all the great life lessons and all the great thinking lessons that a subject can offer that actually transcend the subject. So we wrote this book so that people could actually learn how to think better, how they can be their own Socrates, how they can actually take where they are and be even greater still. And it's not just a matter of a hypothetical person, but it's a genuine who you are and how you can actually take simple, direct, straightforward, practical things and all of a sudden come up with new ideas, see the world differently, and innovate. And we wrote the book for a very, very tiny, tiny swatch of the book reading public. All of students, any student who really wants to get the most out of his or her education, every single teacher at every single level, every single parent that values education, every single professional that either wants more out of his or her own vocation or to inspire others to produce other great works. And then finally, the lifelong learning public, people that really want to get the most out of life and realize that even though their formal education is over, in fact, their education continues for the rest of their lives. So what do you do? What do you do when you don't know what to do? Well, that's what education is about, is to try to teach you what to do next. And this book, that's why I say be your own Socrates. This book explains to you how to provoke the thinking that's required. And an individual can actually do this to him or herself. That's one of the greatest triumphs of the human spirit, that we, in fact, are capable of changing who we are. Not to become a different person, but to take where we are and be our best possible self. And that's the promise of the book. That's what we're trying to accomplish. And we do this in just 5 straightforward, simple things that you do. 5 habits. The habits themselves are really, really easy. But paradoxically, what's difficult is making those habits into practice, to actually incorporate them into everything you do, how you think, how you look at the world. And once you incorporate them, all of a sudden you'll be seeing things that you hadn't seen before. Part of education, besides transforming lives, is to make the invisible visible, to take what is there but that no one sees, the things that are in the negative space, so to speak, and bring them out into the foreground. So you see structure, you see pattern, you see new ideas, and all of a sudden you're an innovative new individual that's seeing the world and appreciating the world with new lenses, with new eyes, and thus able to create new ideas. That's the promise for the book. And even though it sounds highbrow, it's a very concrete book with actual practical action items that you can do. So literally the dream is that after you read the book, and in fact we suggest that you read the book 3 times. The first time is do it real fast, kind of a quick through. Very, very short book. It's only 160 some odd pages. And then the next time you read it a little bit with more care and start thinking about how to apply some of these actual practical action items. And then the third time is the transformative read, where you really try to make it part of who you are. And the really neat thing is that even though the things seem so simple, when you actually embrace these ideas, all of a sudden the worlds open up and things start to look differently. And all of a sudden you are operating on full force, all cylinders, imaginative, wildly creative. It's maybe one of the greatest triumphs of human life that we are capable of change. And by intent, just embracing ideas and words and notions, we can actually take where we are and make ourselves that much greater. That's the hope for the book.